Okay. The
Hey,
broadcast.
everyone. How's it going? It's George hitting in with Ken Davitian. You might recognize him as Azmat Bagatov in Borat. He's also been in Cobra Kai, a new series coming out called Mister Mayfair. We're going to be talking about his feature film that he's working on called Pistachio coming up. And we're going to talk about bringing an American style studio to Armenia in the next minutes coming up here. But how's it going, Ken? Welcome to the show.
For the situation that we're all in, the virus, the no work, I can't complain that much. I got sick. I went in October, and I said, I'm feeling nauseous every once in a while. So they sent me to a sleep study, and the sleep study doctor says, "Hey, why don't you take the test?" I says, "Okay." I took the test. I'm positive for COVID. No symptoms at all. Uh, Stayed in my room 14 days, and I just took another test, and I'm negative. So that way I can go in and get day surgery that I need to get. So, hello. Somebody came up and said, hello. Hi.
That's Harula. How's it
Oh,
going? Thanks for tuning in.
do you know her? Like,
Yes,
is she
he's one of my
always
family
tuning in?
members. Yes.
Oh, good. Cool.
Yeah, it's been a pretty weird situation for Hollywood because now you get all this rapid testing going and just to get up back on set. And have you been on a set recently just
No,
after? No,
no.
eh?
I was told, and I know a friend who's doing what do you call it? Soap opera. And no rehearsal. You have to wear a mask. You got to wear your own clothes. You got to do your own hair. You got to do your own makeup. So, and I've been cast in something, and it's been postponed 3 times.
Wow.
So nobody knows what they're doing.
Well, let's talk about the big series coming out with Stephen Bauer, Mister Mayfair.
Mr. Mayfair.
Talk about that.
Well, I got this part, and I was supposed to play a guy named Ira. And Ira and Steven's character are from New York, and Mr. Mayfair, who's Armand, was one of our guys. We were always doing everything from high school. And we were not made men. So eventually he went to London because he wanted to get out of the mob thing. And we were doing something, and we accidentally killed somebody. So we went to London to let things cool off. Well, it didn't cool off. They came to London looking for us, and it turned out to be really great. In one scene, I'm beating up a guy with a hammer, and there's blood splattering all over my face, and I dry it off and go to the club and sing a song with Armand and because it was supposed to be like the Rat Pack. So I had a great time. No accent, just me, and it was awesome.
It seems like that's where shows are going. I was talking to my wife earlier today, and we were watching American Gods and The Boys on Amazon. And it's just every new show that comes out is rated mature, just so like it's kind of have a no hold barred kind of production, right?
Well, the generation, I don't know what you're calling them now, but they can only look at something for 3 to 8 minutes. So you have to pour it all in there. You have to. I don't understand why you can't sit 30 minutes. I mean, if you go to college, if you go to school, even you have to sit in your class, but they don't have the
attention span,
the stamina to But and now they're telling us, let's do something for 3 to 8 minutes. Well, how in the hell can you? The only thing you can do is a slapstick, boom, it's funny. So, but I don't know. We're trying everything to stay alive and to adapt to whatever this virus is and how long it's going to be here. I don't know.
At least you actually have something on the docket coming out. You were in Cobra Kai as well. Are they going to eventually train you to practice Cobra Kai, or what how's that going to
I
work out?
I was so surprised and honored when I first of all, it's supposed to be set in Van Nuys, which is about 4 minutes from where I'm sitting now in Los Angeles. But we have to go to Atlanta to shoot. So the first time I went, the first episode I'm in over there, I'm eating lobster. And then I said, hey guys, this is a YouTube show. Who's paying for all of this? And they said, Google. So I kept eating lobster. And the show, the way they've written it, where it takes stuff from the old movies and incorporates it. I've already told them I have treatments I want you guys to read. I like the way they work. And about 2 weeks ago, I sent one of the producers because on third season I got beaten up, and my guys got beaten up. I went in there with 2 guys to raise the rent because that's what Machio wanted. So after they beat me up, I went to the producer and I said, "Listen, this is Van Nuys. I'm going to Burbank and I'm going to get 3 million Armenians and we're going to come back and beat these guys up. This doesn't happen. It's not real." And he says, "Don't worry, Ken. You will get your revenge on season 4." So, and then I sent them an email and said, "Listen, I think it would be interesting if my character opened up a dispensary on his own property and Cobra Kai was my security. And
Interesting.
that way you'd have everybody hating Cobra Kai and me. And now you've got more conflict." So I just threw it out there. I think they had 4 set completely. And I really hope it goes to 5 and 6. It's such a good show.
It really is, and
yeah, I mean, like kids watch it
fast. The show goes fast when you watch it, so it's all interesting. It's a fast moving, a storyline, and it just all blends so well.
Yeah, it really is. And I tell you, some of those kids, they're going to be the next Tom Cruise. You watch.
I believe it.
There's 2 of them I really, really like. The 2 boys.
Can you? How high can you kick?
I suggested that too, but that would have been too comical if I started taking lessons. But I suggested that because I'm be very honest. I don't care what I do. I just want more on the show because the show is so cool. I've gotten calls and calls and calls and calls, and now they're putting the Cobra Kai on my reel. So it's been great. It's a great show.
You have such a good role on there. You always, it really it fits you, right? It's a role that really fits you, and I think that hopefully it goes for 6, 7, 8, 10 seasons.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. The problem is in all of those shows, that guy that you're looking at is getting older and older and older. Now you got a 15-year-old, and 5 years later, he's 20 years old. So I don't know, but I think it would behoove people who had young people in the show just to continue and do 2 seasons in 1 year and 2 seasons in the next year because they are growing up. So yeah. I didn't watch Young Sheldon, and pretty soon the guy's going to start shaving.
It's totally true, right? I mean, now is a good time to kind of phase in the future of Hollywood, the future of actually, TV is now mostly just streaming now, right? And people don't actually really tune in for a TV show on the air. They rather just catch it after, right?
No, I'll tell you what I do. If it's a TV show that's anywhere on television, it's not on Netflix or something like that, I tape it. Because, and believe me, I made a lot of money earlier in commercials, but they just aggravate the hell out of me because you were talking about at one time before you were born, it was a minute. Then it went to like 2.5. Now it's over almost 3-4 minutes, and you're just watching commercials. And I know they're done well and everything, but you were just supposed to be able to go up and get a soda and come back. So,
Well, I mean, acting, being in your situation, is it hard to find a production that actually fits you, or how does it work for you? Being
no, for me, no. Other people in this industry who have very, very large egos and are, it just goes to your head. And that's the guy that says, no, 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 no. I can't do that. I only play this or I only play that. I'm an actor. I run around naked because it was part of the whole thing. Nobody ever came out of that and said, hey, you're a pervert, you run around naked, you did. It fit. So if it fits, if it's part of it, you do it.
What was that scene in Borat actually? Was it planned, or like how much notice do people get in that banquet, or nothing?
Nobody in the banquet or anybody else in the hotel knew what was going to happen. We actually ran into a group of engineers that were getting lectured, and this was in Dallas, and we ran in, and we looked around, and these engineers went, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and said, let's go. And we walked out of there like we were wearing suits. We just left. And then we realized it has to be done in a place where there's well-dressed and women, and we also wanted young adults. So we found the broker convention, and everybody was told that we are going to film this for the hotel. And everybody with the hotel was told that the people in the want to film it to keep it. So we were able to get the cameras in there. But after we ran in, then it was organized chaos because I didn't know who was arresting me.
What about the scene in the bed and breakfast? Obviously, you guys visit, and then in the middle of the night, you guys leave.
I asked Sasha, don't you feel guilty? What is your mother going to say? And you know what his answer was? I'm more worried about what my rabbi's going to say. So, and they were such nice people. They were really, really nice. They bring the food. And I could hear in the back where Larry Charles was telling them, you go in there and you offer them food. Well, they didn't want it to offer. You push it. We're Jews. We give them food. They got to eat. And so they came in. You got to eat. You got to eat. I actually felt guilty. But they didn't know what was going on. Nobody. Bruno, that film had people that knew what was going on. A lot of that.
Borat now, Ken, like he can't, like I think he barely made the second film because he's so recognizable, right?
Well, listen, when they started talking, I said, let's go in drag. And then you wouldn't have that problem. But they did what they wanted to do. And I didn't, I was just hoping it's half as funny as the first one. I don't know. I didn't like it because they were doing the same things over again. We've got a strange person with us. Okay, it's not Azamat, it's my daughter, and I'm going to take her here, and I'm going to go and talk to these people. How do we dress her? How do we eat properly? Even going to the lake and washing up at the lake was, I don't know. We all needed a break. So was that it?
Maybe
14 years later, I thought it would be more well done. But they offered me, I declined.
Okay. But like, what about the accent? Like becoming Azamat as the person from Kazakhstan. I know you're
What accent? Who are you talking about accent? I don't have an accent. I born listen, I born in East Los Angeles, you know, right here in United States. So and accent is easy because father talk like that, uncle talk like that. If you don't talk with accent, you don't understand what the hell's going on. So it comes and goes. I mean, you gotta. This is all I wanted to do. I mean, I was 13 years old and decided I want to be an actor.
You're right. The accent does come and go. My family, they're from Cyprus, so we have the broken English and stuff like that
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
It's
It works for me, and I can shut it off and shut it. When they hired me for Ira for Mister Mayfair, I said I don't want to play Ira. And what do you want to play? I said I want to play an Armenian guy. Okay, so when they made my character an Armenian guy, it didn't hurt anything because he wasn't a made man, and he was just a con artist. But it made me feel comfortable because I had all of my own life to bring in and ad lib with. So, and it's really a funny film. The only problem was I had come back before Thanksgiving, and I was scheduled to go back January the 5th, and then I had a family tragedy, and I didn't go back till March. I shot one scene. I just shot this girl that was going to kill Armand DeSante's character. And after I shot her, he turned around, and you're going to think this is the greatest acting in the world because he turned around and he said, "What are you doing here?" Because he had no idea I came. But I was supposed to stay for like another month. But as soon as I got there, Trump closed Europe, and they put me on a plane, and back I was. One scene. But so I think I'm in the first 6 episodes, and then I'm in the 8th. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So am I, because I was able to play me, and I was able to cuss. I was able to kill people. It was very nice. I had a great time.
And now we talk about American studio in
Yeah,
Armenia.
yeah.
How's this happen?
Well, I went to Armenia. I've been there 11 times, but about 5 years ago, I went, and they have a film festival called the Apricot Film Festival, and it's really artsy stuff. No, there's not capital movement. It's just artsy. So they set up a seminar for me, and they asked me if I would give a seminar. I gave a seminar, and the seminar had 300 young, good-looking male and females, and they said, "There's no work here. There's nothing to do here." I mean, I don't care if it's acting. There's nothing to do here. It's hard to get a job. Take us to America. Okay, well, that's not going to work, but we need to bring something here. And that's when I thought, these people are all trying to be actors. These people, they haven't done any production in Armenia that's worth even dubbing and putting on Netflix. So, and the land has never been seen or shot. The churches that are in the hills or the walls. So, if it happens, it'll be good for Armenia because it will bring jobs and revenue. And Armenia is about 65% cheaper than being in America. So $2 million budget is like a $4 million, $5 million budget.
That's
and pistachio, I mean, we've been working with the government for 5 years on this. And they want to see this, they want to do that, and then this happens with the country. And I'm hoping before they bury me, I'll see the sign that says opening soon. But what really is weird is I came back for Thanksgiving and I wrote a treatment. The treatment is about, and I have a 5-year-old granddaughter, but the treatment is about my granddaughter at 10, and my daughter is married to a non-Armenian, and me and my wife, our life is dedicated to our children and grandchildren, and the wife and my grandchild from 0 to 4, inseparable. So I thought this would be a cute picture. And I gave it to my wife to read, the treatment. And she's reading it and she stops. She goes, "Why does the grandmother have to die?" And I, like the idiot I am, said, "Because grandpa's a movie star." Okay, that was accepted. And the story goes that the grandma wants to take the whole family to Armenia to show them where me and her grew up and where'd we meet and all this kind of stuff. Well, a couple of months or a couple of weeks before we go, she passes away. And my granddaughter steals her daddy's credit card and buys 2 tickets first class to Armenia, sets up hotels, gets a driver for us, and tells me, "Hey, we're going to Armenia." I said, "You crazy. I can't take you to Armenia. Your parents, who's got money to buy tickets?" She says, "My father paid for everything." "Oh, he did? Okay. Well, then he really wants us to go." So then she does something with the phone that the pager comes out and says, "Yeah, take her to Armenia." So I did. Then her parents find out. They freak out. My mother-in-law, her grandmother, is 104 years old, and she lives in the village in Armenia, and she gets me arrested because I killed her daughter and brought her back in a jar. And that's because she was cremated, and and I want to spread the ashes. So grandma was like, because they don't do that over there. And the whole idea is I have to be back here for the celebration of the 40 days, which in our religion, if you don't do that 40 days thing, the soul doesn't leave the earth. And she's wandering around the earth for as long as, I don't know. So it's kind of religious, but it's also very funny, and it's also very touching. I had a friend of mine read it, an actress and producer, and she said, "At one point I'm cheering for you, and at one point I'm crying with you." And and then my wife passed away on January 1st, 2020. And I thought, okay, I have to make this movie. So I'm making the movie. All I need is God's will, and maybe God could send me $2 million.
Sorry to hear that. I mean, it's a great concept. When you talk about treatment, how big is a treatment for you to write?
Treatment can be anywhere from 3 to 10 pages, and what it is the story of the script, and that part for me is easy. The part that's not easy is now you know the story. Now you know this character walks into this room and that character walks into this room, and what do they say? And that's where I'm like, I need a writer, but I can get them all the way to the room. So that's what the treatment is.
It's a great concept. I know the 40 days, after you die, in the Greek Orthodox religion, the Orthodox religion, the angel of death will take you around to see your life until the 40 days or something like that. And then you go back to church. And
people in our our age, like, okay, I mean, what? But the guy I'm playing, because he's from Armenia and he's got the accent, for him, this is life or death. Got to do it.
So how far is Pistachio now? Like, what part of production is it in?
It is in pre-production. The script was finished, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, and we have a package which explains everything, and we have a script, and now we're looking for money. That's the hardest part of it all.
The financing, the
yeah.
Wow.
Finance. And everybody's afraid. And it's so much more better than the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, because you've got a million places that need content. So if your content is any good, you'll have somewhere to show it. And there are all these streaming things and stuff. They're all asking for stuff. So I told my people, if you want to do a YouTube series or something, I don't mind doing it, but I want to be able to take it and put it into a network if they wanted it. Something. So we're talking about Ken's Cafe or Ken's Club, and I don't know what happens when you go there. Do I give you advice? Do you run around naked? I have no idea. So,
so the purpose, you're actually going to go film this Pistachio in Armenia?
Yeah. I mean, listen, unless they call and say, okay, we're going back to work. So a lot of this stuff is done out of just keeping your knife sharp and letting people know you're still alive. I mean, a lot of people think I was dead because of Borat. Borat 2 came out and said I was dead, and most logical people would have thought if I wasn't dead, I'd be in the movie. But that's not what happened, and I'm not dead.
Yeah, you're still alive. You're here in flesh,
Yes.
So maybe,
it's really
yeah. I mean, you could all have a movie yourself and say Azamat Lives, kind of like a Return of the Jedi kind of thing.
Well, yeah. I want to do something, but it's like March, April, May. Okay, we're not going to do nothing because this is going to end in March or April. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So I don't know. Now I want to do something, and I know Murphy's Law. I'll get all this stuff right, and I'm going to push the button. We're going to do it, and they're going to call and say, okay, you need to go back to London, or you're going to the Caribbean or Hawaii or something. So I'm almost ready to do something just so that something will get screwed up and work will start. You never know. But I love Hawaii.
You love Hawaii.
I'd like to shoot there again. I shot a film there called You May Not Kiss the Bride. And it was with McPhee, who won, I think she came out third in American Idol, but then she's had 2 television series that has done great. And Rob Schneider and Kathy Bates. And the movie wasn't released well. They were trying to make more money. And this is 2008. And I took it to a couple of distribution people, and they said, listen, we'll do it, but we're not giving you the money until the money comes in. And the producers said no. And so I haven't heard much about the movie, but it was a funny movie. Rob Schneider was in it. Vinnie Jones was in it. It was good. And I loved Hawaii. And that's how we wrote a series. The director and writer of You May Not Kiss the Bride wrote a pilot for me called Poo Poo Papa. And Poo Poo Papa, Poo Poo is an appetizer plate in Hawaii, and it play on words. So he doesn't want to call me a shit, so he calls me Poo Poo Papa. So, but pistachio's the first thing in my arsenal that I got to get done.
Ken, you have so much coming down the pipe. Mister Mayfair, obviously Cobra Kai, and
Yeah,
Pistachio.
I'm hoping Cobra Kai calls and says, "Hey, you're gonna spend 6 weeks here." I like everybody on that show, and I like I'm looking at these actors and going, "Okay, you're not gonna uh, Home Alone." After 3 Home Alones, the kid looked different. He was older. He was more mature, uh, but and he couldn't play the same cute kid part. And the guys in Cobra Kai, they're very mature, good-looking actors, and the girls too. So I think that's going to air for at least seven seasons altogether, maybe 8.
Well, my friend, I hope that you're on all the seasons coming up.
Me too.
And by the way, the
Excuse me.
lobster is great. The lobster.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What kind of coffee do you drink?
I drink black coffee, whatever is in the mug sometimes, and most
So no sugar, no cream.
Just black coffee.
Okay, I'm a wimp. I put equal and I put cream.
Well, I know I used to drink it that way as well. It just wrenched my stomach, man. I don't know how you guys do that.
Well, now I'm doing the something else. Coffee's not doing it. I end up with taking 2-3 sips and I'm all done with it.
Well, it hits everyone differently, right? The French press.
Yeah. I remember Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men. I have to have my first cup of coffee before I go to the bathroom. Oh, okay. And he'd go back upstairs. So, did we talk about everything?
Of course. There's much more to talk about, but
there is.
We could go on and on and on, but we're gonna have you up on maybe the anniversary show. I think it'd be really interesting to see you.
When's the anniversary show?
I'm hoping March.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. When did you come up with this? This last March?
No, I came up with a show about 5 years ago. It wasn't until I had a publicist approach me from Paramount Pictures and asked me to interview some of his actors. So at that point, I was doing some other show, and then I decided to do. I decided it must be time for this show, right? To do interview style conversations with actors, entrepreneurs, and rock and rollers. I love rock and roll. Obviously, my last show was a rock and roll show. But it's really interesting because every time I get to meet somebody different for coffee, right? Whether they be in person or now mostly.
I know that there's something on the air or was on the air called Drunken something. Drunken Tales. They were drunk. I even went to a taping. Everybody sit around there and drink and get drunk and disagree.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to do that kind of stuff too. But I like more like the conversational style of coffee and sitting down for coffee and talking and get to know the person. And obviously, this is
I mean, I like interviewing. I don't have a problem with that. I know a lot of people that are just can't handle it. They're afraid or something. I remember as a kid, Rosie O'Donnell had a show, and Al Pacino was a guest, and they cleared the audience. They had to take the audience out. We didn't want the audience.
Why?
I don't know. Doesn't want to do interacting with them or talking to them. I thought it was very weird. And I know a lot of people that are not comfortable in front of people. And they say, no, I'm sorry, I can't take a picture. My likeness is owned by the studio or something. And it's just that I don't know. I really appreciate somebody spending $10 to go to a movie, and it's more than $10 to go to the movie to see your face. I mean, that's that $10 can go somewhere else, and it's never $10. It's you're going to take somebody with you. You're going to buy. It's $40-$50 to go to the movies, and I appreciate that. I want you to go. and watch them.
Well, it's been a great time seeing you on the screen, man. You do such a great job.
Good. Tell somebody. The next person you interview, ask them if I got a part in a movie for a short, fat, naked guy.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. If not, we'll come up with a concept ourselves.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ken. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm sorry we messed up last time. It was all my fault. I am not technically inclined.
It's all good. Thank you so much for your time.
Have a good one, man. Bye. Are we done?